Hello everyone, let us now discuss today's LeetCode POT. Problem number 2257. Count unguarded cells in the grid. Here in the question we are given with two 2D arrays. One is walls and another is gods. So the given example, there are 4 rows and 6 columns. Now they given a condition that wall is wall is already blocked. That means it is already a guarded cell. Now they given here there is a guard, here there is a wall, and then a guard here, and here a wall and a wall here and a guard here. So a guard can see from the top and the right and the bottom and the left, top, right, bottom and the left. So if you see here, this guard can see till here, and if there is an obstacle of wall, he cannot see further. So if there is a man here and there is a wall here, then he cannot see behind what is there behind the wall, so he cannot guard that, so it is not secured. Then coming to this guard, so here he can see only from the bottomwards, not from the top, as there is no cell on the top, not from the left or not even from the right, as there is a wall in the right. And then here this god can see here, and there is a wall obstacle, he cannot go further, he cannot see further. Then he can see here, and he can see till here. That means he can see this cell, see this cell. So that's it, this god can see only these cells. Now let us discuss about this god. Now he can see upwards, right, bottom, not left, because there is a wall here. So we need to return the number of cells, the number of unoccupied cells that are not guarded. That means this cell is not guarded, this cell is not guarded, 1, 2, this is not guarded, 3, this is not guarded, 4, and then here this is guarded, this is guarded, this is a wall, this is guarded, this is guarded, and then here this is unguarded. So 5, our count is till now 5, and then here it is not guarded, unguarded, so count is 6. This is unguarded, so the count is 7. So we need to return 7. So let us think about a brute force approach. Maybe think like this. If you see, so if you create a grid like this, as we are only given with guards and walls as the 2D arrays, so we need to create a 2D array which is named as grid, and then we need to make the grid as where the wall. So if there is a wall, we need to make it as -1. If there is a wall, we need to make it as -1. So we need to iterate walls for one time and do the uh, make the cells where the walls are present as -1. And then if there is a god here, if there is a god here, we need to also make it as -1 there. So here if you see, where a god is present, make that cell as -1, and where a wall is present, make that cell as -1. So the first naive approach that came to my mind is, if there is a god, we need to approach to the end. So why is there any need to go to this cell, as there is a wall abstracting here. So there is a wall in between the last and this cell, so there is no need to go to this cell. So our approach will be, first thing, initialize grid with m by n size where everything is 0, and then let iterate walls and grids, gods, iterate walls and guards to the array and make them as -1 in grid. And then we need to do another thing. So after making the uh, grids where walls and guards are present, we need to do another thing. That is, this cell, the cell where God can see, will be will be also initialized as -1. That means, so that means where a cell is guarded, we need to make it as -1. So we need to iterate with God from from top and from right and from bottom and from left. And so iterate God's adjacent cells till, if you are going to the left or top, we need to make sure our our iteration doesn't go less than 0. And if we are going right and bottom, we need to make sure it doesn't go out of bounds. That means more than m and more than n respectively. So adjacent cells, we need to iterate the gods till adjacent cells till the god can see, and we need to stop our iteration when we got a wall in the middle. So now when we are iterating the adjacent cells, we need to make it as -1. And the fourth thing which we need to do is return the number of unguarded cells. So how can we know that how many are unguarded cells? So after doing this iteration of guards and walls with the adjacent cells too, then we will be remaining with unguarded cells as 0. No wall is abstract with this cell, and no god can be able to see this cell. So as we have already initialized everything with 0, so these cells will be -1 here. The cells where gods can see will be -1, and where the cells that are present with walls are be -1. So we need to count the number of zeros present in the created grid and return the number of that count. So there is another approach uh, similar to this, that is by using depth first search. So here we need to do, as I have told, that we need to go either up, right, bottom or left, up, right, bottom or left. So in the same way, we need to create a grid and go by the depth first search by going with upside ones and right side for ones and bottom and for left. And if we go out of bounds, we need to return from the DFS. So you will be getting the two codes, the two approaches with codes. in next few seconds. Thank you.